driveway. They can't use them all. They give them away.
Oh,
They
God,
beg
wow.
people to take them.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's really nice, but not the case here.
No,
No.
no, the grapefruit wouldn't last.
Grapefruit would not last, but oh well. So anyway, here we are, and Sue, I want to thank you for coming aboard, taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. I know you have some really important things to talk to us about.
Well, I don't know how important, but there are things that should be brought back to our awareness. I think these are just subtle reminders of things that we all are familiar about, but good things to think about. For instance, today I got in the car and it was 1 degree.
Mm-hmm. I had you beat. I had 4.
4! And we're practically neighbors. Well, it was just so cold this morning,
Yeah.
and you do think about people that might need something, certainly a medication, or just have run out of some essential need. And you do plan when there's snowstorms, but when it's this cold, it's just not safe for a lot of people to go out. And that's, mothers with small children, and of course some of my frail seniors that are still driving and would usually take care of themselves. So, this is the time of year where we do ask you to, if you don't know your neighbors, maybe pay attention to who's coming and going, and if they're older, maybe just knock on their door, leave them a note in their mailbox and say, if you ever need something. This is a nice time of year to reach out and help someone. It is so cold that if you are outside and your car were to break down, you'd be in trouble. Yeah. And I still have people that I care for that drive that do not have cell phones. They do have a lifeline, a lot of them, but if their car were to be broken down, they'd be in trouble there. So again, just if you did see somebody broken down on a day like this, stop. Stop and just make sure they've got a phone and that they can get some help. We just assume everyone's got a cell phone, or if they're driving, they could get out and get themselves help. But that's really not the case here in Harwich, I can tell you that.
So are there a few simple things people could have in their car in the event of an emergency in this super cold weather?
Such an awesome question, Jack. We have phones here at the Council on Aging that are retired. People are not using them anymore. And you can always keep them charged in your car. We can get you a charger for your car for these phones that some people consider would be outdated. All you need to be able to do is have the phone charged and dial 911 on the phone. It can be a phone you never even take out of your car. And we have them for free here at the Council on Aging.
I never knew that. That's really good to know.
Yeah, that's a really good
Very
question. And we do hand out those phones. And we also give them where they have a wall charger. So in the case that you do lose power, and your phone isn't working for some reason, as long as you keep this phone charged up at home, you're not using it, it will last for days, where you would still have some access to the outside world, and especially for the people that do, I'm mentioning Lifeline again, but it is important for the people that have Lifeline. If you lose power, your Lifeline system does not work anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
Even though your phone may work, your Lifeline system will not. And that's when it is really nice to have even a cell phone, so you could keep it in your pocket and be able to just dial 911 on it, where you don't have to pay for a phone service, but just have a phone that has...
They've had a lot of those donated. I got the job one year of testing
Oh.
to see which ones were good and which ones weren't.
Okay,
So it was
yeah.
Well, thank you for your time doing that. That is a commitment.
Yeah,
because there
I'm
are
sure.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
Now, can you reactivate them if you lose your electricity, or are they just dead?
Oh, well, see,
they-
the beauty with these
They're not
phones is you don't have to reactivate them, Paul. If you leave it plugged into your house,
No, I'm
like...
talking about the
Cell phone?
the other the
Oh, the Lifeline.
Lifeline.
Oh, the Lifeline. As soon as the power comes back on, it will reactivate it. It's just while the power is down. So it's important to know that these things would happen.
Right.
I'm involved with FEMA a little bit, and one of the things that we learned over the years, getting back to the automobile, to have a blanket in the car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just have a blanket in the car.
Absolutely.
It's something very simple, but it could be a lifesaver.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And no, that's this. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Sue, this cold weather, people tend to use space heaters, and they're cold. A certain room is cold. I just heard this morning you have to keep space heaters at least 3 feet away from anything flammable.
And that's, I wouldn't even feel comfortable with only 3 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's at least. That's the
Yeah,
minimum.
I wouldn't even
Yeah,
be comfortable with
yeah.
only 3 feet. And if I could kind of jump ahead for a minute, we are having a safety fair on February 9th, and we will have people discussing safety at home, fire safety, police safety, personal safety, medication, balance, and Alzheimer's safety. And we will have a liaison here from the fire department
Good.
that will be discussing these sorts of things, and probably that one directly, where we'll have tables set up in the community room. And we, as speakers, I've got a nurse practitioner from Brewster Medical, Kim Irvine, coming to visit too. And we've got Donna Tavano from the police station. We've got all kinds of people coming. It's just Donna Tavano here is an elder fair liaison officer. I think a lot of the people here in this community have met her. She's been in Harwich for a long time. She knows so much. Leanne Deering, she's with the police, and she's with the fire and rescue, and people have gotten to know her pretty well. She's a pretty familiar face. But we've got Visiting Angels, and we've got Broadreach, and Home Instead. We've got so many people that are going to be coming here to help educate, and many more. All this information is at the Council on Aging. If you do receive the newsletter, it looks like this. The front
It's
of
a
it.
wonderful newsletter.
It is a wonderful
really is.
newsletter. All you have to do is sign up. There's no fee to it, but it's for the Harwich Community Center. And my director, Barbara Ann Foley, spends a great deal of time putting it together. And this particular newsletter does have all the information on this particular upcoming program for February 9th.
It's a bi-monthly newsletter.
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, I know when it comes, there's so much in it. It's
Yeah.
It's
There
usually
is.
2 months.
Yeah, bi-monthly.
bi-monthly, right.
Yeah.
Now, you were going to talk something about falls prevention, Sue. That's really important, especially this time of year.
Well, especially this time of year, tying in with the cold weather. Again, for the people that are out there driving, if they were to fall going from the mailbox to their house, even if they don't drive, going from the car to the house, just going out to check your mail, get your newsletter, your newspaper, or anything. If you were to fall, how would you get up? How would you get some help? Do you have somebody living with you? If you don't have somebody living with you, then if you don't have Lifeline or something along that line, that's something to really consider strongly. With the falls prevention, we're looking at trying to get people to be, aware of their surroundings, not leave anything on the floor, not rush for the phone or rush to get somewhere, stand up slowly, be aware of what's in front of you. Most falls are preventable. But in this weather, if you were to fall and you were outside, it could be life-altering.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just mention the RTA. We have, even if you are used to having somebody pick you up that might not be so steady themselves, or if you're driving yourself, know that you've got a lot of other options to get around, and a bit of a safer way when there's snow on the ground and the weather's really cold. We have the RTA that would pick you up at your door. It's either $2 or $1.50, and they would take you wherever it is you need to go. You set it up at least a day in advance. And can I give you the number for that?
Please do.
Sure.
So this is a door-to-door pickup through the RTA, and the number is 508. Actually, that's the wrong one. That's the Council on Aging number. You know what? Is that something Jamie can put up on
Yeah,
the website?
we can probably tag that. She can probably get
Yeah.
that, and we can tag it.
Okay, that would be
yeah,
really great.
yeah.
Okay.
But it is, if you look up the RTA and the door-to-door service, it's online, it's in the phone book, easy to set up, or you can call the Council on Aging. We can get you the number too. But they'll come pick you up and drop you off for a
That's-
very small fee. The Council on Aging, if you call the outreach department, we do set up rides for people.
Yeah, it's
So-
amazing, the services, really.
Yeah, and we've got the 2 vans.
We
in
have the
Council
2
on
vans
Aging.
here, which is great.
Yeah, no, that's really great. Now, another thing that you were going to talk about today is a common cold versus a reportable illness.
Okay.
Could you sort of go into that? When is what?
Yeah. So the very bottom line is when your body starts feeling achy and you have a fever, call your doctor. The
Oh,
very,
okay.
very basic. And
Now,
that,
what do you consider a fever? You hear all kinds of things. Oh, 99, that's not, or 101 is, or what do you really consider a fever?
if you get to the point that you feel warm and you're having chills, or you check your temperature and you realize it's over what is usually normal for you, I consider that a fever.
That's good.
And that's just, you either have a fever or you don't. Some fevers are high, some are low grade. But even a low grade fever can mean that you have the flu or something that's serious that's reportable.
Okay, good.
So even if you don't have a thermometer at home, if you're feeling flushed or warm or feeling very cold and having the chills, you may be having just even a low grade fever. And it doesn't mean you have to rush out to the doctor, especially if you're not feeling well. But call the doctor and report what's going on. We've got a couple of different antiviral medications this year, and they really can shorten the lifespan of a virus. And my concern is people can't always decide whether or not they've got some kind of bacterial thing starting or a viral thing going.
Yeah.
And the sooner you address it, the shorter the lifespan of your illness. And it's important to call the doctor and just know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know, the common cold, it's just when your nose might be running or your eyes are bothering you a little bit, a little runny or itchy. And you feel fine, but you just have a little bit of a cold.
Yeah.
The difference being when your stomach is upset, when you're coughing, your body aches.
Okay, very good. That's really good information. Now, we've heard in the news that the, quote, flu shot is not a perfect match. And a lot of people say, oh, it's not a match, therefore I'm not going to bother with it. That is not correct thinking. Am I right to assume that?
You're asking me.
Well.
I'm going to agree with you. My opinion is that is silly.
Yeah.
If you have the chance to protect yourself against 3 or 4 viruses and you're not allergic to the flu shot, you can get it for free if you need it, basically. There's no excuse to not get it.
Good. Glad to
Certainly
hear that.
there are other viruses, and this happens every number of years, where it's not part of the 3 or 4 viruses covered in your flu vaccine. And that's when it's very important to always keep yourself well hydrated. Report when something is changing, you know, when you've got aches and fevers, and know that you're generally not well. That's when you call and report. And the CDC wants to see that everybody's getting a flu shot. You know, everyone that gets a flu shot helps protect those that are not getting the flu shot. They want to see that you're washing your hands and covering your mouth. If, you know, there's still a lot of people out there that like to use a handkerchief. Throw them out. use them to check your oil. There's disposable tissues for a reason. If you do need to sneeze, of course, people have learned you sneeze into your arm or away from people. But the key here is just trying to not spread whatever you've got. So if you're sick, stay home. And when you've been in a public area here, even at the community center, or the grocery store, you go to an event, keep some alcohol gel in your purse or your car, and be sure to use it on your hands. That can help prevent something that might be a stomach bug. That's not going to prevent something that's respiratory. But if you're not 100% and you're going to a big event, and we know it's the flu season, you might want to consider not going. If your body is weak or your immune system is down, and you're at risk of something that's respiratory, certainly there's a lot out there right now.
Smart not to expose yourself.
Not to expose yourself if your immunity is not well.
Great. Well, Sue, you know, again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Is there anything else we should know about at this point?
No.
That was really
that's
great.
Good, but thank you for having me.
Oh, we really appreciate
nice
you
to have you
coming
with
in,
us.
and that's really, we're so lucky to have